Stop.
Live on the Zone pay-per-view.
Bruh, I will still not get over it. Like, is there not a way on Twitch to disable automatic playing the homepage? It's something I've always hated. Like, I'm not even kidding. Even before I was streaming and I used to sometimes go on Twitch, I would stop playing videos automatically for me. Like, I don't get it. My throat is not in great condition right now. Dinner was very nice though. Leftover rice mix of... I did like a sriracha mayo soy saucy sauce thing that I mixed all the leftover rice. I see leftover rice from yesterday. We bought 2 or 3 tubs of rice, or 6 of us. And 2 of them were egg fried rice. So and one of the egg fried rices didn't even get touched. So basically it was just a tub of egg fried rice, and I mixed that with loads of vegetables. And on top of that, I then added the sauce, a little bit of ham, just had a bit some meat in there. I didn't really have any meat. I would have probably added chicken or some pork or something, just some protein. Because it was never going to add much flavor anyway, unless it was like a strong meat I was going to put in there. But I ended up just adding that. Let me go to announcements. Oh, my nose is kind of blocked up too. So we did lose a tiny bit of content yesterday. I actually said to myself I was going to read... not yesterday. Wow. Jesus. Like last Sunday. I said I was going to redo it. You can tell by the front bit that I've not got some of the stuff I did here. But I ended up redoing a little bit of it, especially over here. But I didn't end up doing the front part here. So... let's get chat up. Where VR? Well, no one said that they wanted VR. Got some that strep A. Hey, dude. Got some that strep A. Strep A? Strep is a common type of bacteria for most strep A. I've never even heard of that. Damn. My throat's been terrible for like a year now. There's nothing I can really do about it. Comfortable. Okay, so yeah, let's keep this front part fixed, and then we're gonna probably jump into ZBrush. So skull. The skull. Is it because of the texturing? Now look, the nose really doesn't give you any detailing, and there was a reason for that. I can't remember if I rebaked it. Let's go Canon, just bake this. Probably only need to do 2K. We don't even need to do 4K for the rest of it, to be fair. Also, hi, Aston and Moderate and Mega Cool Man. Yeah, Skull. Let's see. Yeah, the nose is not getting much detail. Why is that? Let's open up another one to our other document where we're getting the skull from. That's the skull, right? Wait. Hold on a minute. It's a connected object. Interesting. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. That's the... So it should be... Yeah. Do I want to add like a... I swear when I baked it before, the snows, the nose has some more detailing on it. I can't really move it. So actually, no, I could always just re-export the other one. I mean, I don't need to move it. The problem isn't moving. The problem is it just looks like there's lack of detail. Stand up, down. Yeah, maybe that's just all I need. Just pull it in a bit more. That will sharpen up those edges there. Much bigger cheekbones. Cool. Now we need to export that out with the low poly too. Oh, yeah, that's got to be the whole thing, right? So I've got to do that. Oh, my eye. You're more handsome without glasses, dude. Thank you, Play Plus. What's wrong with glasses? I never used to wear glasses. I did it recently because I was staying at home and I bought a bunch of pairs. This shirt, on the other hand, is just constantly pulling back for some reason. Oh, I've got like, got like water dripping down. Okay, this is the kind of mirrored. With here, here. Mirrored. Okay. That should give me a different like poly now. Hopefully it doesn't break anything else. My screen is filthy. I'm gonna have to clean this if I want to cool. There you go. Cool. Everything else should be fine. I shouldn't break anything, right? Yeah, nice. It should also even have the textures. Oh, what's changed? Why do you have a different... Wait. Oh, no, you don't have a different name. It's fine. If I rename this, you should have the textures back in, but I need the new high poly to be able to bake from. Oh, wow. I just realized I'm still downloading on Steam. I'm hoping that wasn't affecting the stream. Downloading Alex. Half-Life. Oh, my lord. I want to really play it, and I have more than enough room in a VR space now. I've moved some stuff around to give me even more room. So I want to play that. I would stream it, but I think I'm just going to enjoy it at my own time. Because, yeah, because I'm a man. Because it's an experience I want to maybe play on my own and enjoy. That's basically the shape I'm looking for, but I'm deciding whether or not I want basically this that I can pull in. That'll tighten up some of that shaping on it. Oh, not quite like that. Not quite like that. Oh, it's because that's also. Maybe not. I remember being in school and one of our classes, we had like our form class. For those of you who don't know what that is, I assume most places do form classes. But it's your class that you have with like thank you, Area Gamer. It's a class you have with like your form tutor, which is someone that kind of looks after your specific class. So you'll be in a class of, let's say, 29 different kids, and that's like your home class, your homeroom class, where you have a specific teacher that's going to be with you for all the years you're in that school. Now, in that school, you only spent 3 years there. Technically 5 now, because you have to do sixth form. And we had a different teacher every year because they kept leaving. I swear it wasn't our fault. But one thing I remember them saying was, he was like, today we're going to do a class, and I want people to compliment each other. It was a really weird, like, I get the idea. That's a very awkward thing to ask 13 to 16-year-olds. Let's compliment each other. Woo! Compliment each other. And I remember one of the things he said was, don't be afraid if you think someone looks attractive, if you think someone's handsome, and you're also a boy, and, you don't find them, you're straight, so you don't actually find them attractive in that way, but you think they're an attractive person, don't be afraid to say that's the thing you think's good about them. And I just remember thinking, like, it was a very weird class. I got the idea what the teacher was going for, but I just remember everyone being pretty awkward, except from this one guy, because his best mate. There was these two very they weren't really class clowns, because we all sort of thought they were funny. I picked Steven because he's sexy. No one ever said anything like that in school. I was known as the very unattractive kid in school. I was like under 5 foot probably for most of my school. I had much more tan skin, which I know you wouldn't hope that would make you get treated differently, but unfortunately, it did to a certain extent. And I wore glasses, and I liked going on the PC all the time, so I was known as just the kid who was a nerd, who nobody... I had friends, and I knew a lot of people, but I wasn't particularly known as someone who was at all popular or attractive or anything. Yeah, and I remember this one guy in class being like, I think Paddy's absolutely gorgeous, and he's... the funniest thing about him is he was this... they were like best mates. And his name was... I won't say his name, because I should say their full name out loud. His last name was Buck. It was a very, very strong name. And he really... I don't know what it is with certain names, right? You kind of get this thought about it. Now, if someone had the last name Buck, in my head, it's exactly what he was. He was just like... He didn't look like a 14-year-old. I think that's how old he was. He looks like a 20-year-old. He was so big and butch. And for him to be like, I think Paddy's gorgeous. It was so funny. Nerds are cool now. That is true. Nerds are at least cooler now. The thing with me is I was never really something I'd define as a nerd. I'd say I'm a nerd now. I like Steve because he thinks he is a lovely... Because I think he is a lovely person. That is very nice for you to say, Play Plus. I hope other people feel that way about me, and I hope I can spread that feeling of myself to other people. That sounds like a really weird way to put that. But... Oh, wait, what was I going to say? About school. Whatever. School was a, like, I know, like, when people, that's it, nerds. I'd never consider myself a nerd for a very long time, because I don't think I was nerdy. If anything, I was geeky. And I know it's like, oh, what's the difference? But there is a difference. A geeky person is someone who, it's more to do with computers. They like computers, they like video games. Now, I wasn't even that into computers either. Well, I started using Blender when I was like 13, so that's sort of when it started. But I don't know. It was like one of my mates considered me a proper nerd. I've never been that intelligent. I got C's in most of my GCSEs. I was in the low set for English. I had special needs growing up. And I feel like I never really liked comic books and stuff like that. I wasn't into nerdy video games like World of Warcraft or things like that. I liked things like Call of Duty, which was like, weirdly enough, the Call of Duty is like the jock game when it comes to gamers. And what other nerds? I didn't do stuff like D&D, which I think is interesting now. I didn't do a lot of stuff that you'd be called a nerd for, but I was still called a nerd. And I think Mostly, it's just because of the way I looked. If I didn't wear glasses and I looked a bit more jock and I went to the gym a lot and stuff like that, even as a 13-year-old, I think I would have very quickly stopped getting called a nerd. Because my interests, except from liking computers, and even I didn't have a computer till I was 16, 17. 17. I didn't even have a computer till I was 17. So it's just really interesting to me that that's what I was considered to be in school, even though I don't feel like I ticked many of those boxes. Anyways, that's just my rant about school. But I don't know. I mean, I thought that was weird. Maybe I'm weird for thinking that's weird and thinking that's not the only thing that makes you a nerd, but... Oh, no. Don't bit the whole thing. I just want to bake the skull. I was like 3 different people growing up, depending on what group I was in. See, I've always been me. I've always just been Steve. Because people always like say, oh, you change when you grow up. People change. You're a different person as you grow up. Nah, I've always been me. My personality mostly hasn't changed. My interests have shifted and my understanding of things have changed. My opinion on certain things has changed. But me as a person, me as what I do, what I like, what I find entertaining, what I try to strive for, I've just always been the same person. My mannerisms, like, yeah, I'm much less shy now, but I wouldn't say that's a huge change of my personality. I've just learned not to be so, what's the word I'm looking for? Conservative. I'm a much more open person now. I will tell you what I think, and I'll have a laugh about things, and I'll just try to have a good time. And yeah, I see the nose is still not looking. Like I said, even trying to copy what we got going on here. Oh, not here. Here. Because that nose is a lot stronger, am I wrong? Like, that's got much more definition behind it. Let's just go ham on it. Let's go full sharpness. Which looks a bit silly. Let's get the reference up as well. I mean, first of all, the nose is actually much more like... much more pointed at the top. And it's way more pointed at the bottom than I've got going on. Way more like that. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Then we probably want like this in here, because what it does is it looks like it goes over something like this. Oh, not quite like that, but something like that. I like that, to be honest, but it's a bit less on here is the issue. Not quite what I'm looking for. Close, but not quite what I'm looking for. I feel like getting that line in is going to just cause too many issues. Instead, we won't have it for now. Maybe pull it out a bit more. Maybe get that other one in. Go something like that. That looks a bit more what it looks like from the reference. Go a bit more. Yeah, that looks good. Go back to here. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to select this, go like this, and we're going to go a relax, right? We're going to select the whole thing. Export that. That's our mirrored. Undo that. Go 3 or 2. See, that's way too hard. Looking at it, it just looks wrong. It's way too much. Yeah, that looks better. Maybe it's a tiny bit. Yeah, just let that. So I read what you guys write in just a second. Hi, Polly. I was always me. I just go through the flow. I have not interest or whatever. I'm more geeky overall these days, though. I'm definitely way more geeky and nerdy these days. Even more nerdy. My point is, because I remember my friend calling me like probably a decade ago, oh, nerd. I'm like, am I a nerd? I feel like describing someone as something means they have to share the interests of that subject group. But I just didn't. I wasn't into nerdy things. Like, I liked Call of Duty and I liked video games. And that was about it. On the nerdy front, that was it. Like, that's all I sucked. Like, nerds are supposed to be intelligent, or at least educated. I sucked at school. I feel like that's like the double whammy, you know, when you're getting called a nerd, but you're not even smart, so you didn't even get the benefit of being smart. It's like, oh, great. I'm being ridiculed for one thing, even though I don't get the benefit of being that thing. Something that someone said to me not too long ago was just like, because without saying anything, there seems to be this common assumption that just because you went to university, people think you're trying to call yourself really smart. I am not a smart person. Anyone who's watched my channel for long enough will know this. The only things that probably gives you off the imitation that I'm smart is I try to use longer words in my sentences, because I don't swear, so I don't. So I got to make up words to, not make up words, but I got to find words to fill out what I'm trying to say. And two, I just try to use words that more articulate what I'm saying, and that one makes people sound smarter. And two, I look at things from a very objective view. I try to take everything from different perspectives and really try to identify the situation. And that makes you seem like a smart person. I'm not a smart person. But if you go to university, there seems to be this like thing that without saying anything, people start saying, oh, this person thinks they're smart because they went to university. What? Just because someone went to university doesn't mean they think they're smart. Anyone can go to uni, lol. Right? The unis will be more than happy to take money from you. Exactly. And not even that. Even if you went to university and you're successful in what you're studying, you know one subject, at least in the UK. I know how to do games modeling and animation, and I'm not even necessarily smarter for it. I'm just more knowledgeable on that subject. It's so weird to me that, because I've sort of picked up on this recently. I've heard it so many times in the past, but very recently, I've been hearing people say, I think I'm smart because I went to university. And that's not even remotely true. I don't think I'm smart in general. And two, I'm definitely not smart because I went to university. If you went to my university class, you would have found some people that you were surprised to see at university. Yeah, it's just weird to me. It's like such a... Because people don't feel bad about making that assumption either. Because to them, it's just like, oh... They think they're better than me, so I'm going to show them by saying that they think they're better than me. No, I don't think that way at all. I can refer to like 5 people from university that would question how they remember to breathe. Exactly, right? It's so weird to me. I actually heard one thing recently that I can say this, but I can say it's my brother who said it. So I won't say who we said it to, but my brother said to somebody, "What is happening here?" He didn't say that. Did you just see those glitches in his nose? Oh, the nose looks a bit weird. We'll have to have a look at that in a second. At this point, it's smarter to take a Udemy course or get a mentor than to go to university. It feels that way. My university was definitely not filled with the most intellectual, not the smartest teachers who could teach me stuff. The nose is definitely not working properly now. I definitely broke something in the nose. What have I broken? I'm just going to reset what we did. Open reason, cannon half, don't save, and we're just gonna... Oh, did I save it? Oh, I must have saved it recently. We're gonna get rid of this interface here. We're gonna grab you. And we're just going to do something like that. That's fine. Grab you. Re-export that. I will get into ZBrush today. That is not the great file type. It is the normals doing it, but I don't... It's coming from the bake, so... Let's go. Configuration. Kind of What was I talking about? University, people not being smart just because we're in university. That was it. My brother, my twin brother, believe it or not, said to one of my friends recently that, Steven said he wouldn't live with someone who isn't as intelligent as he is. What? Now, I've been informed he didn't say it quite like that, but it was the gist of what he was saying. And I was like, excuse me? I know what, I wonder if it was the normal map, because I didn't redo the normals after moving pieces. We'll give it a check in a second after doing another bake. Oh, wrong one. I think. We want material 1, right? I should really name them correctly. Same here, went to uni for games art, and it was a huge time waste. I would have rather spent all the time learning by myself. I know I wouldn't have had the motivation myself. I feel like university was at least... I feel like there was enough there for it to have been worthwhile for me. So I can't say... Oh, yeah, look how stretched that was. You see that? Hold on a minute. I think it is because it's stretched. I forgot about that. See, it looks worse now. What have I done? I mean, that looks better. Unwrap. Oh, what? Hold on a minute. Oh. I've got to select all of them. It should be mirrored on a, on here, really. There, and is it on? Oh. Because they share the same UV, so it doesn't matter. Unwrap. That's fine. Going diagonally, it's fine. And then we want to set the whole thing. Yeah, and he said, Steve said he can't live with somebody. I can't live with somebody again who's less intelligent than he is. Just like, what? What a weird lie to make up about something I apparently said. Like, I find that so bizarre. Why would I say that? Something like something you would say, shake my head. All I care about when I live with somebody, I selected the wrong thing, is if they're a good housemate. If they leave trash out all the time and stuff like that, then that's gonna put me off wanting to live with them. That's about it. Well, I say that's about it. Lots of stuff, like if they come home making lots of loud noise at night. You know, the generic play loud music in their room. Generic, like, bad roommate vibes. I do actually want to bake the whole thing. I'll do the skull again. This skull looks horrifying right now. Can you pay the rent? Yeah, if they can pay the rent, right? Like, a good housemate to me is just someone who's a good housemate. It really doesn't bother me. But no, apparently I said they have to be my intelligence level. Oh, wait, did I not export it with... Wait, now something very fishy is happening. Why did that not even remotely try to... Did I... Oh, maybe it's because I didn't subdivide it. Okay, maybe that was my bad. I see one thing I want to at least swap back. Really? Oh no, I think I've really got that part coming in lots. Yeah. I've really got the cheeks coming out further. Right. Let's go high poly. I've noticed recently when people talk about me, they do like to make up lies, little fibs about stuff that I apparently say. I remember playing games once, and I didn't say anything throughout almost the entire play session. I just kept slaughtering people at Rocket League because they were quite new to the game, and I had experience playing, so of course I'm going to be better than them. And I basically said nothing the entire time, and then they started having a go at me for gloating that I was winning, and I was sitting there like... And then Jackie was in the call, bless him. He had to come to my rescue because he wasn't playing with them. He was just in the call chatting. And he was like, hold on a minute, Steve's not said anything. What do you mean? Like, why are you saying he's like noting that he's winning and stuff? He's not even spoken. And I was like, thank you. I have Steve has a chronic foot fetish. Who told you? Water. People get super defensive when they're bad at things. Well, I'm fine with that. Just don't make up fibs about what I'm saying. Like, at least if you want to insult me, do it for one of the things I actually say that's controversial or that makes me a bad person. You don't put words in my mouth. I get there was someone that isn't smarter than Steve either. Wow. I didn't even see that comment till now. Oh, that's another thing, actually. Devin, as a reply to what you said, university, as well as what Megapixel said, taught me how to teach myself. I feel like that was quite an important lesson I learned. I know that's not, they didn't technically teach me that. I sort of got that myself, but yeah, I sort of did learn that from uni. So I have to say that was actually a super helpful thing. What resolution are we in? 2K, okay. So I want to fix this blobby bit here, which I think comes from one of these somewhere. That is not even remotely the right thing I've selected. Oh. Plot's nose. The texturing of this actually started off as a sort of experiment, but it got better and better as I got along. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep what I've been doing. Yeah, see, I don't like that blobbiness we get at the end, so I'll probably just do something like this. And we'll probably just do a blur and have a generic fade from there to give some volume to that. Similarly with that sharp one we got here. A little less contrast. More fade from there. Sweet. Then there's one more clearly causing one more line. And we'll keep that one actually sharp like that. That's where it stays in there. That's nice. Again, we'll improve that there. But now we're actually going to try to get over to ZBrush. People like the time you said you hate your whole chat. Exactly. And that's at least something to hate me for. Okay, I need to clean this screen before I use it to draw on. I do have cleaner around. That's the old bottle. That's the new bottle. It's over there. Let's go get it. Lint-free cloth. There we go. Don't want to draw on a dirty tablet. Oh my god, there's one little mark on it. Get off. There you go. Because when you draw on a tablet, you feel every like... Oh, it's a little bit more in it. You feel every like little imperfection. Especially with the pen. You go to drawing, it like bumps up and down from like the bit of the dust on it and stuff. So you want to get all that gunk off. All that gamer gunk. I haven't got my watch on. Oh look, I'm learning some cool stuff about this. I've got one of those lighters that you like press the button, you see it, and you get like the electricity go between, so I can like light my candle with it. But I've been because I'm immature. I was sitting here messing around, and I was like, huh, and I like, touched like my Coke can and stuff with it, and it like turned off my headphones. When I touched it here, my headphones turned off. When I did it, turned back on. And I was like, is it the electricity like going up my arm? How is it doing that? I was like, it's so cool. And then I touched something else, screwdriver, and my monitor turned off. And I was just like, and then this is a rubber handle. And when I did it, it turned off the monitor. And I was just like, how is that happening? I was like, I don't get it. I was like, it's cool, but what's going on? How How do you feel about your tablet with screen much better than regular tablet? No, actually. I really like my tablet with the screen. I think it's really, really cool. And I think it's one of the coolest things I own when it comes to tech for my art. However, I actually felt really comfortable back in the day using the one on my lap. Because you could do much smaller strokes with your hand because you didn't have a whole monitor. And the one thing about using the monitor tablet is your hand gets in the way. So you can't always see, like when you're drawing from like left to right, your hand's in the way, so you're not right to left, especially when doing strokes and like ZBrush, you can't fully see what you're doing until your hand's not in the way anymore. Whereas when you're doing it on your tablet, you look at your screen and there's no obstruction. So I'd say, I don't know if I prefer it, but I definitely wouldn't say either is much better. I'd say both actually have their own benefits. And I don't know which one I prefer overall because of that. Because it's something very cozy about it on your lap as well. It's much more comfortable. Whereas this, I got to lift up. I got to pull this monitor up. Which we can ignore having to adjust other monitors. But I then got to start leaning into it. And it's just a lot less comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So now we want to do this. Now I don't know if the best option with this would actually be to straighten it out first. So we got this. Jesus, there's a lot more here than I was thinking. Stop Canon. We actually have a folder for it here. I don't know if the best option would actually be to get the rotation back to the right spot, because when I start to align things, it might not be a big issue. So we'll go without doing that first. Because that way everything's at least in the right spot and I won't have to sort of rebake things. One of those electric fly swatters and it turned my monitor off. Really? I've had one of those before. I've never used it in my room. Been playing a lot of Beat Saber. I probably ate like 2,500 calories today, which is bad because I'm on a diet. But I probably burnt like 700 calories playing Beat Saber, so I don't feel too bad. I was going ham on the Beat Saber. Canon top. No poly. Tool. Import. Oh, we should have combined it first. I mean, it's coming like that, actually. But when I export it, is it going to export it as loads of different tools? Why isn't it? Oh, there you go. I mean, it seems fine. Oh, is it lots of subtools on it? Subtools. It is. Whoa. Oh, yeah, we don't want that. As always, I don't know how to reset a document in ZBrush, so we're going to have to just reopen it. As silly as it sounds. Let's combine it all first. Does that break anything? Oh, it does. It changes some of those sharp bits we got going on. If we convert all that to mesh and then combine them, and then come into here, we should get relatively what we're looking for. Sweet. Export FBX. I think I've filled all the holes that I need to fill. And top. I will have to add. Today will be a shorter stream. Tomorrow is our long stream. So I will try to get as much done as I'd like to get done in time. But I do want to play some Alex Half-Life in a bit. More VR. You guys are less important than VR. I'm sorry. My mom was speaking to me about VR. And she was like, she doesn't get the appeal. I was like, what? Like, oh, did I import the bottom? Whoops. So she doesn't get the appeal. And I find it so odd to not even remotely understand the appeal to something like that. Because I don't know. I feel like it's very easy to say, oh, I get it. I get why people like VR because of all this stuff, because all the stuff you can do, because you're like in the game now and all this and whatnot. But she genuinely just doesn't understand why VR is entertaining for some people. I just read what you wrote, but let me read what you wrote above that. When I was 11, my aunt gave me her old desktop, and at the time I was playing with one of those electric lighter starters, and put it in the USB port. No, you killed the computer. Smart. I recently, with that same lighter, so because I've been like having a bad throat, I cough up like cough up phlegm, and I've been having a blocked nose, so I keep like some toilet roll in my room. And I broke off a square, and I got the like lighter, or I say lighter, I guess it's still called light, it still lights things, and I set some of it on fire, the little square, and I held it in my hand, and the whole thing sort of, and I was like, I didn't think far enough ahead to how I'm going to put this out, so I grabbed my blanket, and like smothered it, and it burnt parts of my blanket, so I had to sit here with some scissors, not this one, the blanket on my bed. Only a little bit of it, you probably wouldn't even notice because I cleaned it up pretty good, and I had to sit there cutting off the parts that got burnt. And I sat there like, man, I feel like a proper like caveman. I was like, ooh, fire. And I didn't know how to respond to fire. Very smart, very smart. So yeah, see what I mean? Because it's like on the sides, we don't get a perfect aligned geometry, but I don't think that'd be an issue because we can manually do that. Oh, that's not what I want. We want to start subdividing it. So when I divide once, you'll see all the stuff that we don't want to get smooth, like here, right? We don't want that part to actually come up like that. It's very, very annoying. Similarly with like over here. So what you do is turn this off, you divide it a couple of times. How much we at? 1.7 million? 7 million? Probably one more. 28 million, that's good. And we mostly get rid of that effect. The problem is you get it's like these lines get around it now, so I got to come around here and kind of smooth it over a little bit. But we can solve that, that's fine. So yeah, you can come onto here. Now, if we look at the cannon, how smooth is the cannon? Pretty smooth, it's just got some scratches on it. Nice, my pen isn't working. Oh, is my oh no, not plugged in. Aha. Oh, sorry, an error has been encountered while writing a file. Why? What happened? Error has been encountered while trying to save tools. Saving has been aborted. Huh? Why? What happened? It's my... I've only got 19 megabytes of space on my hard drive. Why? I had 24 gigabytes earlier. What happened? Is it really? Yes, I get it. I get it. Let me close you. Yeah, close. I'll reopen in a second. Yeah, 2.41 gig. What's happened? Half-Life Alex is not installing onto this hard drive. Probably missed the answer. Why no VR? Because nobody really replied. So I was like, oh, I won't do it if nobody's. If some people said, yeah, I want, go do some VR. I done it, but I thought if nobody's gonna really reply to it, I will just do what I usually do, because I don't want to disappoint people, do something different than my normal stuff. There were 2 reactions. You're right. There were 2 reactions. Scammed again. I'm sorry. I don't know where my space has disappeared to. Because I literally looked earlier and had over 20 gigabytes of space, and now we're looking at significantly less. Let's delete everything temp files. Oh, there's noises downstairs. Let me check if that's my parents. Otherwise, I'm being burgled. I can just look out the window. Yep. Yep, that's my parents. Alright, let's try... Folder access denied. How dare you? You need to be admin. It's my computer. I'm at 5 gigabytes now. Let's hope that's enough. If you really want, I could do some VR tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it before stream. I have been enjoying Beat Saber recently. It's good exercise. Import. Canon low poly. Canon base new low poly. Canon top low poly. You know, that was really interesting at my company. Delete all the funny cat pigs. No. It's not really funny about a company. It's a while ago that they brought this up, that we're not allowed to say on any of our social medias or everything where we work. Because now their reasoning was because they feel like we're going to be like doxxed, and we're going to be, you know, people are going to hunt us down if they find out who we are at a company, blah, 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 blah. Now, I find this is a very, very silly thing. I get their reasoning for it, but I think it's a very, very silly thing. And I'll explain why. As an artist, and even as a programmer, maybe I'm wrong about programmers, but as an artist, you are always trying to advertise yourself to begin with. If you look up Stephen Christopher 3D artist, we'll do it now. You get my art station. We'll do it on an incognito to make sure we're not getting biased results because of past search history. Stephen Christopher 3D artist. You get my art station. You get where I work from my LinkedIn. So instantly you found out where I work anyway. Whoever that is. I don't know these people. So I actually come up at the top, which is quite nice considering other people are called Stephen Christopher. Oh, look, a very old showreel. So you instantly find these places of me, right? So like, oh, now I know what I look like. You know that I live in Great Yarmouth, United Kingdoms. You know I work as a lead artist at Psycho Hound. You've already found out everything. So, I can understand in other jobs where you don't try to advertise yourself. As a 3D artist, all I'm doing is advertising myself, because it's how you find work, you know? And it's when you want to share your work. Yes, you can upload anonymously, but again, you usually want people to find out who you are so you can get work from them. So, you know, in my case as an artist, it's just weird that my company says I can't share who I am anywhere. I'm allowed to share it on LinkedIn, and of course I'm allowed to share it on my art station because I'm going to say where I work for when people look at my art station. And that's enough, though. That's enough for them to find out where I work. I don't know. I thought it was a weird requirement for the company. Can I come down? There you go. Because that was it as well. They were going to make a Discord page for people to join that like the game we're making, and then we can communicate them. But we weren't allowed to say our actual name. I wasn't allowed to say who I was at the company. I would have to go in there and say, make an alias and just be like, answer questions for them. Um, and that's a little bit more understanding, but I still find it odd. And again, maybe that's just in the case of being an artist, so it feels weird for me. It still kind of folds up at the bottom, but that's fine. 28,000, good. Cool. So, what we want to do is like smooth this over a little bit without destroying that edge. And when I do start editing the edge, so I want to... See, the edges don't really have any damage on them. So I kind of don't even want to do this, to be fair. I don't even want to smooth this, because we lose some of that detailing. Yeah, I don't know if I just want to ignore this and only do a high poly for the wood, because the metal, I think I can get away with just doing it in the engine, right? In a substance painter. I'm kind of down for that. Like, if is this unwrapped? No, none of this is unwrapped. I'm actually going to start unwrapping it. Maybe we'll ignore ZBrush, because the problem is, if you look at it, it doesn't have a lot of deformed stuff on it. It's quite a smooth shape. It's just got scratches and stuff, and I'm feeling like I can just do that in substance. The only problem is the wood. The wood will need to be high poly. So I could always import just the wood into ZBrush and then do a high poly for that. Right? I feel like that's the correct answer of what I should actually be doing. The correct play, as some gamers would say. Worst part of ZBrush. Worst part of ZBrush is what I just said, or was you going to add something to that? Man, I really need a drink that's not water right now. I need some sweetness in my mouth. I said that in a weird way. Sorry. ZBrush is a great piece of software, but yeah, there are times where I'm looking at it, I'm like, do I need to use this? Having to smooth models because they'll affect the bake. Yeah, right? It's very awkward. Very, very awkward. One seam there. That comes over here. Then the rest, I just need to the bottom. Now, technically, it doesn't need a bottom, right? Because if I'm not getting this into ZBrush now, I like how I've completely done on 180 and what I was going to do. I don't need this. What I can do, so it generates an actual shadow. So a very, very slight bit that does come in. I know it's like adding a bit of extra geometry, but just... Oh. I think my dogs are fighting outside again here. Put your name into the goblin fire. You know what? We won't do that. We'll just leave it blank. That's fine. It should leave a shadow anyway. Now, lots of these have backs to them that I need to now delete. Maybe what I should do is once again do a duplicate just on this part. Let's put it somewhere over here. And now we'll start deleting those things we filled. Because if I'm not doing a high poly, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the problem we've been facing these last couple of days is... in the last couple of days, last couple of sessions, is determining whether or not we need to use... We need to fix the model so it works better in ZBrush. That takes a lot of extra time out of the work. Having to fix up, like do back faces to everything. Meat's back on the menus, boys. Steve's dogs, pretty much. Well, that's them eating each other, though. They are so... For puppies, they are so vicious with each other. It's insane. What's the line in that movie? What about their legs? They don't need those. They are not for eating. Well, and then before that, they're like, we've been eating maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. When are we gonna get some real meat? Is that what he says? Some real food, some real meat. What about? And then he talks about legs. What about their legs? They don't need those. They are not for eating. Man, I love Lord of the Rings. If there's anyone here who dislikes Lord of the Rings, give me an explanation to why you don't like Lord of the Rings. Like, I'm not trying to. You're allowed to not like Lord of the Rings. I'm not trying to. I don't want people to hate on you if you're gonna write in chat that you don't like Lord of the Rings. But I'm curious to what is it about it for some people to actually like really dislike it, because like from my perspective, Lord of the Rings is such a phenomenal trio of movies that it's hard for me to even fathom not enjoying them. Now, Walking Simulator is such a... I've seen people answer that, and I'm always like, have you seen the movie? I feel like people who says it's like, oh, it's just walking the entire time, haven't, one, either don't understand how movies are made, and you have slow periods and fast periods, and two, haven't watched the movie. If you really break it down, it's really not that much walking. Like... It's because a lot of it's obviously, especially in the first one, it's a lot about the start of the journey. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of downtime. It doesn't need to have action all the time. Now, again, that's down to personal preference if you only really like action. You have a video for Moderate's answer. Because this is actually a comment I saw about... I actually want to talk about this. So, 2 people... It's not Marvel. Yeah, right. Hey, Nabble. 2 people. Hey, Steve. Wow, everyone's appearing all of a sudden. 2 people I spoke to recently said, so one person said it, and they said, The Last of Us is just a cinematic movie to them. There's that little gameplay in it. And the second person I spoke to about this, now, they clearly hadn't played the game, right? The second person I said had also not played the game, and he went, I see where he's coming from, though. And I was sitting there like, and I asked him, have you played the game? No. I was like, well, so let's think of a video game right now. Let's think, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. I want the old one. If I write Modern Warfare 2, PS3, game length? I spelled the word game length terribly. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is about 8 hours in length. Cool. I want to make sure. Wait. No. That's the new one. The old one was about 6.5 hours in length, apparently. Twitch thinking they're better than us because they can post links, right? I'll look at that video in a second. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is about 6.5 hours worth of gameplay. Now, let's go cut scenes combined. So Modern Warfare 2... Jesus Christ, where's the original? I can't find the original. We'll just do the new one. So the new one, they said 8 hours worth of gameplay. One of these videos say 3 hours and a half long. There's no way that's how many... There's no way. Is the new Modern Warfare like 3 hours of cutscenes? I mean, if it is, that means almost 50% of the gameplay is cutscenes. So that's about 45%. If that's incorrect, and it's this other one here that says 1 hour and 20 minutes, that means it's about, if it's an 8-hour game, that means it's about what, 20%, about 1 hour and 20 minutes? Times 5, 6, no, about, oh, bugger, quick maths, about 17% or something like that. Quick maths, about 17%, something like that. So depending on which one's correct, I don't know which one's correct, but look, it says this one's like 3 hours and a half long, and this one's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And it says the game's 8 hours long. So I'm not sure which one's correct in length. If that one's correct, it means about 45% of its gameplay, 45% of its cinematics. Whereas it says that one is about 1 hour and 17 minutes, would mean that about 17%. Now, MGS4 is like 10 hours of cutscenes. Yeah. MGS4, I love that game, but there are so many cutscenes. And you can't skip them on the first playthrough, I'm pretty sure. The ones in the, with Watercon, the ones in like I was gonna say spaceship then, they're like, the big plane, I guess you're on. Those are so cool because you can take control of the robot while they're talking and go around the scene. So it was like an interactive cutscene. Anyways, now let's go Last of Us. Last of Us 1. So you saw that I researched it before. Total play time at PS3. I want to make sure we're looking at the original. About 15 hours. 15 hours of game, right? Now let's look at the cutscenes combined. I'm going to get proven wrong now, isn't it? It's going to be like 7 hours of cutscenes. Cutscenes combined. That's the remastered. PS3, here you go. 1 hour and 33 minutes. 15 hours. 1 hour and 33 minutes. So that's what, like 7%? Yeah, I don't see anyone standing over here telling me Modern Warfare 2 was like an interactive movie. Yet for some reason, I've had 2 people, and I've seen people say it online, telling me that The Last of Us 1, and it's every time, it's someone who hasn't played it. How long is the movie though? Is the movie out yet? Every time I see someone, I've seen so many people say the comments, and they've always not played it, and they're like, oh, it's more just like an interactive movie. Have you played the game? The game has so much gameplay. Like, every level, you're getting through, you're either fighting zombies, which are called clickers, and then different bigger versions, you're traveling through levels, you're fighting bandits, you're doing some cool, like, sort of scripted events that are still gameplay. It's just so weird to me. Well, have you played the new God of War? It's basically a movie. Is that actually true? I really want to play the new God of War as well. I mean, I don't mind if it... Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed something like Heavy Rain, which is... Especially if you plan on... Play on grounded difficulty. Exactly. My MGS4... Oh, sorry, yeah. I've already read that one. This is like the old anime talk. Good anime, but so much filler. Yeah, right? It's just really... It's always when people haven't tried something before. I think having an opinion on something you've not done before is really, really weird. Or watched or played or, you know, experienced before. It's really, really weird. Because, like, I can sit here confidently and tell you I probably will not enjoy Twilight. Now, can I give you an opinion on Twilight? Not really, because I've not seen it. But from what I have seen and what I've heard and what I've read about Twilight, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it because it's a romance movie about vampires, and vampires I find very cool. So I feel like making them more romanticized, especially on like a drama romance front, is probably not going to be very entertaining for me. Now, I can say that because I think that's going to be true for me personally, and I'm using information that I've seen elsewhere to determine that. Yet, when I see people talk about subjects, they're like, I hate this game. Have you played it? No. I'm like, how do you know you hate it? Oh, someone's thingy. Is The Last of Us actually worth playing? I read that it blows. You read that The Last of Us blows? Really? As in the remaster? Or do you mean the second one? Oh, God. Last of Us remaster. We'll look at Metacritic because there's user scores on there, so we'll ignore the this one. I mean, out of 18,700 reviews, it's got positive. I know looking at reviews isn't always the best way, but if most of the users are saying it's pretty good, then it can't be that awful. I mean, I don't enjoy The Witcher 3, and that's like 99% positive reviews. I just can't get into it. It looks like a really good game, but I just can't get the hang of it. I just don't enjoy it for some reason. But personally, I played The Last of Us 1. I played The Last of Us 2 a little bit. Last of Us 1 is probably one of my favorite PlayStation 3 games. It's definitely in the top 10, I think. I've had a lot of good experiences on that console, so I think that's true. But yeah, I just think it's mental to have an opinion on something you've never even tried. I think it's so weird. It's like being like, I hate knitting. Have you tried knitting? No. How do you know you hate it? Might be really fun. Let's actually look at that video that The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. It's by... Oh, okay. We're looking at this video. Let's mute Lofi quick. Mute. Oh, that mutes the whole website. Hold on a minute. Let's just mute the video.
I think I speak for everyone here when I say it is very exciting to be in a room with you, Mr. Tolkien. Okay, we loved publishing The Hobbit. Can you tell us a bit about this next book? It's about a magic ring. Yeah. Given to an heir. Yeah. Who must destroy all evil. Yeah. On a magic quest. What happens next? They walk. Somebody's following them. Walk. Hide. Walk. Steal some mushrooms. Get on a boat. Walk. Elves for the first time. Wow. Walk. Nighttime. Walk. Attacked by tweez. Okay, it's a lot of walking. I'm not a third of the way through. Walk. Meet a weird bush guy. Walk. Finally a town. Safe. Eat. Rest. Show everyone their secret. Get the fuck out of there. Run. They got a new tall guy. Run. Scared. Stab a Dementor. Run. Dementors can't swim. Fuck back to Azkaban. Okay, well that seems like a good place to end it. We'll publish it. I'm almost halfway. Rest. A bunch of elves. They've seen elves before, but now they got a dwarf. Walk. Heaps of walking. Path is blocked. Walk underground. Orc. Run. A Balrog has come. Kick him in the arse. You shall not fuck with me. Walk. I'm sick of elves. Get on a boat. Bottom is an asshole. Motherfuckers on a magic quest. Fellas in the fellowship doing what they do best. What if for a while they rode a massive hawk? I think I'd prefer if they... This is my book, motherfucker! They'll walk if I tell them to! Get that weak-ass bird shit out of here!
Pretty good. Let's see what you guys saying. Says Steve that's never watched a single Star Wars. But I've not. I think I'd actually really enjoy Star Wars. I think I'd probably watch it and be like, oh wow, the graphics are dated. Because I was actually told, I will say that, from my friend who really likes, like, I have a friend, he's probably spent £10,000, maybe not that much, definitely a couple of £1,000 on Star Wars figures and stuff. He loves Star Wars, but even he said, maybe, he wouldn't be surprised if, when watching it, I might feel like it's a bit dated. But that doesn't bother me. I love so many old movies that have terrible graphics. In fact, I love so many bad movies that have terrible graphics because it's just hilarious. But I actually think I'd really, really like Star Wars if I watched it. I just haven't watched it, is the problem. So I start doing some unwrapping now. So today's going to be a bit of a boring one. I mean, we're not going to stream much longer anyway, but today is going to be a little bit boring because I am just going to be unwrapping. Hello, toxic waste. That's a weird sentence. How's it going? We are unwrapping. Glorious. Exquisite. What we're going to do is we're going to create a separate material, go down to a viewport display and change that to a different color. The reason we're going to do that is because when we unwrap something, we can assign it to that new thing and it will be changing in color. I'm doing great. How about you? I'm doing pretty good. I've been ranting about random subjects, which is always fun. Yeah, so it's been pretty good. Are you an artist, toxic waste, or programmer? Or you just... Some people keep saying to me recently that I keep just popping up on the recommended and they've never once even looked at 3D art. And it's like, yeah, I just got sent here by YouTube algorithms. I'm like, oh. So if you're sent here for that reason, that'd be kind of interesting. Pretty sure someone came in not too long ago and he, like, donated. He was just like, yeah, I don't know why I'm here. You seem like a nice guy. Yeah, here's some money. I was like, oh. Oh, thank you. I try to keep the stream lively with my voice. I don't know why I'm exaggerating what I'm saying. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, what? Oh, I isolated that too. That rhymed. If we mark seam here. Mark seam is my best friend. I do try to build like stuff on Blender, but there are control Wow, I think I just had a brain fart trying to read that. I do try to build like stuff on Blender, but there are controls I don't know. There we go, on Blender. God, yeah, I did struggle to read that for some reason, even though it's a perfectly fine sentence. Yeah, Blender's a lot of shortcut-based work. So if you don't know what the shortcuts are, you'll probably have trouble actually using Blender, which is a shame. Because Blender, I think, is a fantastic tool, but it does deter some people from using it when they don't know how to use some of the tools. I personally use a lot of basic tools in Blender, right? So if I'm building like something very simple, I always use the example of using a monitor, but like sRG is like your scale for like, just remember from that, scale, S, boom, and you drag it in. Why am I scaling from my... Oh, that's what I said, everything. Scaling from your center point. You could change your scale locations using this one, but you don't necessarily need to know how to do that because it doesn't really matter unless you're doing something very specific. If you put middle mouse click as you're doing this and you hold it and you go into a certain direction, you can go specifically in those directions. If you look at that sort of dotted line you've got, that's where it'll be doing, like where it'll be caring about. Right? R is rotate. And again, if you hold middle mouse click, you can pick which one. And G is grab. And again, pick which direction by middle mouse clicking. As soon as you know that, you can push tab, go into edit mode, and you start making your shape. Let's say we're making a monitor. Boom. Monitor screen. Select the one you want with just left clicking in edit mode after pushing tab. Select it. E to extrude. S to scale. And then E extrude a bit more, and yeah, you're pretty much good on that. Then if you want to use modifiers, you go to this little tab here, and you can put on like for a bevel, for example, and then you just Shift A, and you've got all these tools to add. And then that's basically the and then the last tool you might actually need is Control R, right? Let's put in an edge loop, and then you can do whatever you want with that. But if you don't know, if you know the name of something, you can always go into here and be like edge. Well, it will only show in edit mode, but edge loop, and it will come up and it will even tell you the shortcut on the right, right? Extrude, E, extrude face, E. So it's one of those things that you probably need to know how to do about 8 shortcuts, maybe 10, to basically get the fundamentals. But you can pretty much model anything just on the fundamentals alone. But you can speed up that workflow by learning more. Does that make sense? Maxime. I hear laughing outside my room. And then you're doing stuff like this, like marking seams, but this is like much more advanced. Like this is when you're actually trying to make it for a for texturing and then for games engines. When you're actually just doing the modeling stages, which a lot of people just do. They don't even bother learning how to do anything else. What is happening here? Why is that not unwrapping the way I think it should? How did you bring up that search box? F3. Did I not say that? Whoops. I said all the shortcut names, and I didn't say F3. That was very helpful. I'll see what I can do to what you said. I'll subscribe. You seem like a great artist. Thank you so much, man. If you actually want to learn something and you have something in mind, just ask, and I will do it quickly. So if you're like, oh, Steve, quickly model a hard drive. I will show you how I'd go about doing it, but I'll do it quickly because I obviously don't want to waste too much time away from my actual work. But I'm completely fine offering help whenever you guys need help. I've always said this, the reason that I stream isn't because I'm trying to get work done. That's part of it. But it's because I want you guys to ask questions and I want to help you guys get along with what you're trying to learn. Unfortunately, a lot of people seem to ask me about programming, and I have to always tell them I'm not a programmer and I don't know how to help you with that, which is a shame because I don't like saying that. I don't like saying to people I can't help them. So it's here's the problem. Where is that? Eh? Oh. There was a hidden edge there. Spooky. Uh-oh. That's not good. Ah, itchy nose. So this got hidden edge as well. Merge. Like distance. Yes, it did. There we go. I think one big important thing as well. One big important thing is learning how to basically problem solve when something's not going right. That's a very good thing to know how to do when you're using any software. So have I filled in holes for these as well? I did. So I'm reverting a lot of work that I did not long ago because I wanted to make it work with ZBrush, but I just don't see the point of adding all this manual detail into ZBrush as well. I keep bouncing back and forth on how I want to do things, which is fine. Sometimes you will do that on projects, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. As long as you, at the end of it, come up with a sort of way you want to 100% do it, that's fine. Bouncing around for a bit is just how the process goes. But I am bouncing around a bit more than I'd like. Something like that, I think looks pretty good. I want this part to still stay smooth. Oh, but that part doesn't look very good. Why does it do that on 40? That's fine, it's still smooth over here. I think problem solving skills arguably may be the most important thing in any sort of job in this field. If you ever want to obviously do it as a proper job. Because knowing how to problem solve means you can get away with doing a lot. Because if you know how to fix, especially if you make a mistake, if you know how to fix something, that goes a long way. If we just sound like this, delete this, that should be enough. Skeleton. That should be enough because you won't be able to see it anymore, so it's good. Is there any way in Blender to manually normal groups? I don't know what you mean. Normal groups? Question mark. Something like this, that'll probably work pretty well. I mean, I might know what you mean, but I want you to explain what you mean just in case I am misinterpreting what you're saying. Probably going to unwrap this like this. It's going to be quite stretched along there. Maybe we'll just do this. This. Let's see. Mark seam. Like a max. Ooh. Like a max, I can just select that whole front face and make it one normal group. That select the rest and do auto or manual. That way you can keep the flat face and don't have to worry about getting the right angle. Whereas I can just select that whole front face and make it one normal group. Then select. I mean, I don't even know what normal group means in context of 3D modeling. So that's not helpful, not really knowing what that means. But I assume what you're saying. Well, so you've got automatic, right? So if I set this to 60 and there's parts that I don't want to be smooth, I can then select those areas and go mark sharp, and it'll keep those sharp. And you usually can see it, but I guess it's because of I've got a marked seam there. But yeah, if I let's select it here, it'll go bright blue. You can manually set the areas you want to be sharp and areas you don't. In fact, I've got loads on here apparently, which I didn't even realize. So yeah, if I definitely want to keep like these parts here and this parts here, This will still smooth everything that's 33 degrees or less. So less or more. That's fine. So if when I put that to 40 and I saw that, whoops, that's 4. Put that to 4 and I saw we were getting issues here, I could have just come around here manually and select the areas that I want to mark sharp, so I won't get that problem. I just tend to like getting the automatic smoothness sweet spot where I don't have to manually do much. So if that's what you mean, I can select whole group of faces and then will be considered as one flat. Oh, right. So, wow, that sounds really weird. So you can select a bunch of faces and say that will be like come up as what, like how this is now sort of, I guess, one normal. Yeah, that's interesting. No, I don't. Maybe you can do that in Blender. I just use these tools because I don't need to do much else, right? With Auto Smooth and Mark Sharp, that's all I really need, I think. Question mark. So yeah, that's the best answer I can give. You know what? I wish I had some Pepsi or Coke. I really fancy an alcoholic beverage. One thing I like that Blender has that Maya doesn't, unless you've got the full edition, is selecting stuff by. Well, I've lost my train of thought. I was gonna say by normal. What do I mean when I say that? I've lost my train of thought of what I was gonna say. There's something I really like in Blender that Maya doesn't have. I'll think about it in a minute. I was focusing on what I was modeling. See, as problem with like doing modeling and talking is it's very easy to get sidetracked on one or the other. So I'll be talking, especially when I say something, and then someone will say, "Oh, I don't agree with that, Steve," and then I'll sit there going, "What did I say? What didn't you agree with? I can't remember what I just said." Because when I'm talking and I'm doing this, I'm most of my focus is still on the 3D. I'm just sort of opening my mouth and letting words come out. And that sounds very weird. But I hope some people can relate and understand what I mean. So yeah, I lose my train of thought very often. And I get very impressed by people who don't. This is an interesting shape here. I feel like this should have just been gone down to the center. That's me when I'm driving. Can relate, hell yeah. I know some people can't just sort of open their mouths and let words come out. Like they have to focus on everything they have to say. And to an extent, I have to do that depending on the situation, I do have to do that. But when I'm doing streaming, I like, basically the thoughts that are going through my head, I just let go. I just let come straight out of my mouth instead of keeping them in my head. And when you think about so much, you don't necessarily think about all the thoughts you had. And it's similar when I'm doing this kind of work, is I very quickly will forget what I said, because like when you're thinking about things in your mind, you forget about what you're thinking. I'm taking this into a very complex topic, but yes, I find it very interesting how the human mind can work the way it does. Uh-oh. Stinky. What's wrong with that? Has it got faces on it? No. Yes. Yes. Good at that. What about these ones? You guys all have faces, don't you? Because I put faces on you before. I like how I'm basically, like, my work is taking longer because I had to put faces on these a while ago because I was going to put it into ZBrush. Excuse me. I remember when I've talked about this topic quite a few times, but I bring it up every so often. And I remember when I was talking to somebody about their hobbies, and they were a photographer. Were they talking about photography at the time? I believe so. We talked about photography, and I was sitting down. I was very interested in the topic because I get interested in quite a lot of topics. if anyone knows me in person, they'll know if you start talking to me about almost anything, I'll find it interesting. Because I find lots of stuff interesting. Like, especially when especially when the person talking about it is really passionate about it. That makes it even better. And I think, because I think it's really cool. I think the fact that you can have that much passion over anything is awesome. So I want to listen about it. I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to hear more about the subject. You probably have a duplicate at the side that's exactly the same, minus having the cap, and probably have a duplicate at the side that's exactly the same, minus having the cap. Oh, you're probably right. Oh well. I feel like I've made minor changes here and there, so I may have found one and then sort of gone, oh, actually, and then realized afterwards, oh, actually, no, there's some changes I made that I don't have now. Yeah, that's the whole point of making backups too, so I could do that. Oh well. Yeah. Anyways, and this person was talking to me about I believe it was photography, and then out of nowhere, this person was like, "You don't actually care about this." I was like, "Huh?" And they're like, "You just like being nice. You try like let me talk about all this," and I was like, "No, I find this interesting," and they didn't believe me, and I thought it was so odd. I was like, I'm sitting here listening to you talk about something you're passionate about, and I want to hear more about it because I think it's interesting to hear people talk about what they're passionate about. And then out of nowhere, they shut me down for listening to them about what they're talking about, and I was just sort of like, I know that sort of shows an insecurity for that person, but I was just like, I don't really know how to react to this. Like, I want to hear you talk about what you're interested in. I don't know what to say. But I just thought that was an interesting topic, interesting thing to happen. I wouldn't necessarily say I was being nice by listening to them. I just find those topics interesting. I find everything interesting. I'm just that kind of person. Like, you could talk to me about the most bland... You talk about knitting earlier. You could sit there and talk to me about knitting, and I'd be like, oh, cool. So wait, that's a... I can't remember the stitch names now, but I'd be like, oh, that's a bloody blood stitch, and that's a thingy stitch. So what's the difference? Like, why would you use one over the afterwards? Why would you use a crosshatch stitch over a line stitch when repairing trousers? Describe to me, like, why? And I find that interesting. Top 10 knitting facts. I've dealt with that a few times. I can understand both sides. Like, do you not feel weird when someone asks you about something you're interested in and you feel like they're just being polite? Not really. Unfortunately, in my life, when people aren't interested in me, they'll make that very clear. Even my own mum was like, yeah, I don't really get what you do. And she never really asks about it. So I've never had the privilege of someone pretending to be interested in what I like to do. So unfortunately, I can't say yes to understanding that feeling. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on a minute. What is even going on here? Oh, that looks way better like that. There you go. Let's fix that on the other side too. I mean, I still understand both sides. But it feels like I was punished for simply showing an interest in what they were interested in. You know what I mean? Like, oh, sorry. Sorry, my interest. I'm sorry that you thought my interest wasn't sincere. I remember in school. Actually, how do I want to do this? Over that side. Right. And it needs to go here. Here. Yeah. Here. Oops. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Nice. Sorry, I had to focus about how I wanted to have that then. Yeah, I remember in school when, by the way, when Blender's sponsoring. Oh, mate, that'd be awesome. I mean, Blender's a completely free company, so I feel like their sponsorship wouldn't be very good for my finances, but that'd still be freaking awesome. Sponsored by Blender 3D. Blender 3D is a piece of software that allows you to make whatever your heart desires. Something buy Blender for free now. Yeah, going back to that. I remember being in school, and I remember people like standing in front of class, and almost everyone who stood up, stop, never worked for free, Steve. Oh, true. As people kept standing in front of class and talk about their interests, because it was one of those classes, again, I think it was before my form tutor, and they were going up and they talk about what they was interested in. Someone went up and they talked about skateboarding. And after every single one, there was... After every single one, there was... so does anyone have any questions? Steve, what do you want to ask? Do you know how to do kickflips or hill flips? Oh, yeah, I know how to do those. Can you grind on rails? How difficult is it to grind on rails? Is it hard to get the ollie up that high? Can you do manuals? You know, then someone else walks up in front of class. Oh, I do martial arts. I'm doing taekwondo and things to do. So I'm saying I'm yellow belt in taekwondo and a green belt and things to do. Something, whatever. And then finished talking about it, and I'm like... any questions? Hang goes up again. Oh, what do you want to ask, Steve? How many katas have you done? What's your favorite kata? Do you find anything particularly hard in martial arts? I mean, my dad was a martial artist. He was like a black belt in 3 different martial arts, and he did kickboxing and stuff. So, to be fair, I have more of an interest on that subject anyway. You talk on the auto-smooth functional vertex groups. Normals was the solution to a problem I have had for ages. Thank you. You've just saved me from pulling out what's left of my hair. Good. I'm glad I helped solve something, even if it was indirectly. And yeah, every time someone walked up to the front of class, I've just had questions about it, because I just find everything interesting. I find people interesting. If you want to talk to me about what you're passionate about, I'm all ears. Because if you find it interesting, you can probably convince me to find it interesting. Because it's just the kind of person I am. Like, if it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I make fun of my friend, for example, because he plays the same... Like, he actually said recently, oh, this person also said what you usually say, and it was, I usually go, I can't, like, you play the same 4 games. Like, you don't try to push past that, try to more interesting games, more games similar to what you enjoy, like that. Because I find it, personally, when it comes to video games, I find it so interesting, or so strange that people will limit themselves to such a small library. I need to really optimize this. Look how high poly this is. Small library of video games. There's so many out there that really can I have a feeling you'd find very interesting, or whoever I'm talking to. But he'll like only play the same sort of, as I said, 4 games. And he actually said, someone recently said the same thing to him, and he was like, oh. I was like, like I said, I'm only having fun. Personally, I do find it strange to only enjoy such a small library of games, but I'm not actually trying to insult them. I'm just sort of joking around, despite it being bizarre to me. But if that's what you're passionate about, that's what you're passionate about. I do find it funny though when so for example, I find it really weird when people don't understand their hobbies, may be very bizarre. Now, should you hide your hobby from people just because it's bizarre? Now, that's up to you. Personally, it would depend on the group I'm around. If I'm around a group of people and I know none of them, not only are they not interested in, let's say, anime and manga, I know that they find it strange and they find it very weird when people are. So if I'm in front of this group of people, I likely won't bring up that, oh, I watched Chainsaw Man yesterday, you know what I mean? But what I find most interesting is when people do this and then they can't comprehend what people they're around are now treating them a little bit differently, because they're showing how interested they are in something that they pretty much knew they were going to get judged for. Now, don't get me wrong, those people are not in the right for judging you over something you enjoy. I'm just saying, you should know your audience when talking about certain interests. Does that make sense? I mean, it's their loss at the end of the day. If you're passionate about anime and you can tell them some really cool stories and really cool animes you've watched, but they're not going to have any interest because they think it's a weird subject, their loss at the end of the day. But I do think you need to pick your audience when talking about certain subjects. Ah, yes, my hobby of collecting different human-sized cages. Exactly. That's a really good analogy. Oh, actually. Oh, no, it's this part, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually. What I can do instead is just extrude this part down. Let's actually start with the back. Let's hit it from the back. Hold a minute. That's the local... That's local? Oh, I merged it. Ah, interesting. So if you merge it, the problem with that is it will save out what you've done, and it will make it so that's its local position. Well, that means now if I want to change something like this, so if I did it here, look, would scale properly on that direction. See that? Whereas if I were to, for example, merge two things together and then do it, oh, and then do that. Oh well, I can't do it because it's not center of grid. It will start doing what you're seeing over here. All right, we can stream a little bit longer. I was gonna say I think I'll call it a day, but no, we're only done an hour and a half. I can do a little bit more. I'm getting really tired. I woke up at like 3 o'clock today. I slept for about 10 hours. I say for so long. 10 hours is still pretty long, admittedly. I find sleeping a very interesting topic because I swear people just try to compete. You'd be like, oh man, I only slept for 3 hours last night. And they'd be like, I only slept for 2 hours last night. I'm like, okay. Congratulations. I mean, I'm tired. I'm just like, oh yeah, but I should be tired. I've only slept for 2 hours. Okay, man. Good for you. I'm glad you only had 2 hours of sleep. I find it just so strange when people do that. I slept for 10.2 hours last night. Sleep, never heard of it. I do remember being in university, and one time in university, university. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. I'd only slept for maybe oh yeah, I need to do a high poly for that as well. He looks pretty cool, low poly. I probably only slept for... sorry, I had been up for about 70 hours. Because I left all my work to the last 3 days, and I decided to basically stay out for all 3 of these days. So it was like the third day in, I'd been up for 70 hours. Someone in the class had been up. He'd stayed up for one all-nighter. So he'd been up for maybe 20 to 30 hours. And I remember people like being, wow, you've been up for this long? That's amazing. And I was just sitting there on the other side of the room like a zombie with being awake for 70 hours, just like... Really? Only 30 hours? I'd been up for a very long time. It sounds like I'm lying, but nah, that's like the record. It's the longest I've ever been up. Maybe that wasn't the 70 mark hour at that point, because the 70 mark hour was probably when I was at home later that night. So maybe that was only maybe the 60 hour point, but yeah. It was a very long time. I'll tell you that much. And I remember being very, very, very tired. Because the people have never been to festivals, right? It was just really funny. Because it was just seeing somebody else being like, I guess, praised for being up 30 hours while I was sitting there, like, not, it's not like I'd only been up a couple extra hours. I had over doubled the amount of hours this person was on. And I was sitting there like, where's my praise? What about me? I want the people to love me. Do you notice that when I work, I get lower and lower in my chair? There's one thing in university as well that my teacher actually gave me a free pass on. I remember him being like, everybody, you know, I don't want to see friends on. I don't want to see people lounging around. And he was like, oh, except Steve. For some reason, Steve works better like that. And I was like, yeah, boy. When I was at university and on holiday, a 40-day worked perfectly for me. Wait for 24 to 30 hours, sleep for the remainder. I was always A night owl, though. Yeah, I'm always a night owl, to be honest. Like, I can sleep during the day with quite ease. That doesn't sound right. I can sleep with ease during the day. I can sleep during the day with ease. And at night, I have trouble. That sounds like it makes more sense. How did you do the rifling in Blender? Woo! Okay, I think I remember how. I got like a... Let's get a cylinder. I mean, it's very thick and over-exaggerated rifling. I showed my dad. He was like, that's way too big rifling. I was like, it's a stylized thing, Dad. It's like a cartoon. Like, it's not supposed to be, like, super realistic. So, I think I did something like this, and then I just, like, rotated the inside, like, 45 degrees. Or however many I want. Let's say 45. Like that. And then I'm pretty sure I just grabbed it up to here. Yeah, grabbed up to here, made a spacing of, like, 4. Oh, actually, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's not 4. Pretty sure some of these aren't 4. I'm just sort of roughly guessing. And then I think I did this, and then I'm pretty sure I just... Did I delete that? And then, no. Surely I would have done this. No? Trying to think of how I would have done this part. Delete that and then pull them in. Grab each one. God, I've had me contacts in for about 5 hours now, and they're really struggling in my eyes. Pretty sure I scaled that up in a certain direction. Is it this one? Yeah. Then I selected each one, and I'm pretty sure I scaled them towards each other or something. I can't remember how I did it, but I filled in this part somehow. I'm trying to figure out how. Did I just pull this down? No. How did I fill that part in? I filled that part in somehow. And then I just... Oh, you know what? I probably did that first and then rotated it. That's why it's confusing me. Right? I feel like that'd be an easier way to do it. I mean, you can kind of get the idea of how I did it anyway by looking at what I'm doing now. But, yeah, maybe what I did was this. Like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then grab that interior face. Oh. Grab you, pull you back more. Going to here, grab you. Yeah, that looks good. Rotate you 45 degrees. Cool. Just do a fill with a bevel. Why won't it let me bevel? Fine, I'll just do that then. Something, I don't really care. Just do that. Then I basically just grab this. I put a edge loop in between, and then I did a bevel on that to give you a smoother effect. Apply that. Apply that, and boom, we've got like this super over-exaggerated rifling. What you can do, get sort of a more smooth rotation effect, is kind of rotate this partly as well. Can't remember which way I did it. This way, like that. So you get like a gradual rifling, which doesn't make sense. It is supposed to be sort of consistent, but it looks cooler like that, right? And boom, we get this kind of cool rifling effect. Oh, sit back up a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day. I think I will now. I hope you guys enjoyed. And tomorrow, I really want to get it all UV mapped. And we'll start texturing it. Now, I do, like I said, I want to get the wooden parts probably out as a separate thing now. And then have them, I'll do a high poly of them, then bring them in. And yeah, we'll see how we can go for then. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. It's going to bye. I'm going to play some Alex now, maybe. I don't know yet. Hope I enjoyed the stream. I really did. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.